In the heart of the Igbo land, nestled between rolling hills and fertile fields, there lay a village called Umunzi. The village was known for its rich traditions, vibrant festivals, and the deep spirituality of its people. Among the villagers, one name was spoken with admiration and reverence: Uche. She was a radiant beauty, the only daughter of the chief priest, known to all as the Eyes of the Gods. Uche's grace and beauty were unmatched, but it was her dancing that made her stand out and respected by her peers, especially since she was the only chief priest daughter. Every year, during the New Yam Festival, Uche would perform the sacred dance of the harvest. Her movements were like poetry in motion, telling stories of their ancestors and the blessings of the gods. Her father, proud and protective, believed she was destined for greatness, perhaps even to marry a prince or a great warrior. The entire village held her in high esteem, seeing her as a symbol of purity and divine favor. But fate had a different plan for Uche. In the quiet of the forest, where she often went to practice her dance, she met Obinna, a young and handsome man playing a flute with enchanting melodies. She was instantly captivated and walked up to him. Obinna was part of the Osu caste, a group considered impure by traditional beliefs. They lived on the outskirts of the village, shunned and forbidden from participating in many communal activities. However, Obinna was kind-hearted and had a deep understanding of nature. His soulful flute playing touched something deep within Uche's heart. When Uche approached him, she greeted him warmly, and Obinna, though surprised, smiled back. They started talking and quickly discovered they had much in common. Uche was fascinated by Obinna's knowledge of the forest, while Obinna admired Uche's passion for dance. They began meeting regularly in the forest. Uche danced to the music Obinna played, and their friendship grew stronger with each meeting. They shared their dreams and fears, finding comfort in each other's company. Uche learned about the hardships faced by the Osu and saw them in a new light, while Obinna found hope in Uche's acceptance and kindness. Their friendship soon turned into a deep, forbidden love. Despite knowing the challenges they would face, they couldn't ignore their feelings. They vowed to support each other and dreamt of a future where their love could flourish and where people would be united, not divided, by their differences. One evening, as the festival of the New Yam approached, Uche made a fateful decision. She invited Obinna to come to the festival disguised as a free man, to witness her dance and to show the village the beauty of their love. Obinna hesitated but was persuaded by Uche's unwavering belief that love could conquer all barriers. On the day of the festival, the village was abuzz with excitement. Uche danced with her usual grace and divine energy, but this time, her movements were imbued with a new fire, a passion that took everyone's breath away. As she danced, Obinna played his flute from the shadows, their secret symphony captivating all who heard it. But then disaster struck. Someone recognized Obinna and shouted out, revealing his true identity. The music stopped abruptly, and the joyous celebration turned into an uproar. The villagers were outraged, feeling betrayed and dishonored. Uche's father, the Eyes of the Gods, was devastated. He confronted his daughter, his face a mask of sorrow and anger. "How could you bring such disgrace upon our family and our village?" he spoke angrily. Tears streamed down Uche's face as she pleaded, "Father, our love is pure. The gods must see the truth in our hearts." But her father refused to listen. At the festival, the village elders were furious and resentful about what had happened. It was an abomination for a free woman to befriend an Osu. The elders decreed on the spot that Uche be banished, cast out to live among the Osu, forever separated from her home and family. With heavy hearts, Uche and Obinna left the village, finding comfort in each other's arms. Her father was tormented by the shame and disrespect she had brought upon him. Even though he disapproved of her actions, he couldn't bear to see his only daughter cast out as an Osu. He begged the gods for mercy, but they remained silent. Uche and Obinna lived a life of hardship. Their love never wavered. They continued to push their talents, entertaining the villagers in the Osu community. Over time, the story of Uche, the beautiful dancer who chose love over tradition, spread far and wide. It became a legend, a tale of forbidden love that challenged the rigid beliefs of society. Years passed peacefully in Umunzi until one year, a severe drought struck the land. The rains that usually graced the village with their life-giving presence failed to come. The once fertile fields turned to dust, and the streams that snaked through the village dried up. Crops withered under the relentless sun, and the villagers faced hunger and desperation. Livestock, which had once thrived on the lush grasses, now wandered listlessly, their ribs showing through their thinning hides. The village elders, who had always relied on the guidance of the gods and the rituals performed by Uche's father, found their prayers unanswered. The yam stores dwindled, and the fruit trees bore no harvest. Days turned to weeks, and weeks to months, but the sky remained a cruel, unyielding blue. Children cried from hunger, and the elderly spoke in hushed tones of omens and curses. The once lively and bustling village was now thin and somber, their spirits as dry as the earth beneath them. The festivals that had once brought joy and unity to Umunze were now replaced by a grim silence, broken only by the sound of the wind rustling through dry leaves. In their desperation, the villagers sought help from the eyes of the gods, hoping for a miracle. But even he, once respected and feared, couldn't end the relentless drought. During this hard time, a young boy remembered the tale of Uche and Obinna, realizing that since their banishment, things had changed for the worse. He told the king and elders that the gods were angry because the maiden who used to dance and communicate with them was gone. He suggested finding her to appease the gods. The elders, uncertain but feeling they had no other option, decided to give it a try. They gathered a group of men, young and old, and went in search of Uche, hoping that the daughter of the eyes of the gods might still have some influence with the divine. Uche and Obinna had made a life for themselves in the outskirts among the Osu. Though their existence was modest, their love and the respect of their community had given them a contentment that the villagers of Umunze could not fathom. When the delegates arrived at the compound of Obinna, they pleaded with them to come back, explaining the hardships her banishment had caused the land. Uche and Obinna listened to their pleas with a heavy heart. She had not forgotten the pain of her banishment, but she could not ignore the suffering of her people. Moved by compassion, Uche and Obinna agreed to return. The journey back to Umunze was somber, but as they neared the village, a sense of hope began to stir among the villagers. Upon their arrival, Uche and Obinna were welcomed with open arms, a stark contrast to the hostility they had faced years ago. The villagers gathered in the central square, where Uche and Obinna prepared to perform. Uche, dressed in the same flowing garments she once wore during the festival of the new yam, began her dance. Her movements, though now marked by years of hardship and wisdom, were still as graceful and captivating as ever. Obinna played his flute, the hauntingly beautiful music weaving through the air, carrying their prayers and pleas to the heavens. As Uche danced and Obinna played, a sense of peace and unity settled over the village. The sun, which had been mercilessly beating down, was gradually obscured by clouds. The villagers watched in awe and silent hope as the sky darkened. With a final, sweeping movement, Uche completed her dance, and at that moment, a distant rumble of thunder echoed through the hills. The first raindrop fell, followed by another, and then a torrential downpour. The villagers erupted in joyous cries, dancing in the rain that quenched the parched earth and renewed their spirits. The fields soaked up the water, and the rivers began to flow once more. The drought was broken, and the village of Umunze was saved. The villagers thanked Uche and Obinna for their love and sacrifices, and they lifted the ban on the Osu people, welcoming them back as part of the village. Uche and Obinna's story became an important part of the village's history, teaching future generations about acceptance and the power of true love. With the ban lifted, Umunzi prospered once again, and the villagers remembered the beautiful dancer and her love who changed their lives. Their story was passed down through generations, ensuring that their message of acceptance and love would always be remembered. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.